You think in that sense, are we progressing or regressing?
You know, I tell you this, when I see young people, and then recently during Chinese New Year, the mosque opening up, come, 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 you know, you can do Raya Chant. I thought, this is wonderful, yay, you know, and I really believe we are like that. But of course, there are also pockets of extremisms that you think, oh, this is not good for the country. But we must realize the voice of the minority is very small. It is very, okay, they may be small, but they're very loud, and they can be powerful. But I think the voice of Malaysians, right? The ones who are like us, who are like, okay lah, Haya, go see doctor lah. Okay, you know, find the best Chichong Fan and all that, which is what we did this morning. I think our voices have not been heard. I think there's also that fear that if you speak up, you go to jail or there'll be repercussions, you know. And I think that's sad. We all deserve very abundant lives. I think it's going to get even more tense and intense only because things are getting more and more expensive, no matter what the newspapers say. I find that, you know, I use Uber a lot. In the last 2 months, I saw the thing, you know, the fees going up and going, oh my God, what was like 15 ringgit, like 25 ringgit? You got to be kidding, you know? Things have become more expensive. And whenever you have an economic challenge, the tension will be worse. You know, people will start thinking, you know, money is important. You have to live, right? We don't have certain infrastructures like where you don't have social welfare for old people, and we are, you know, living longer and longer and longer, right? I meet a lot of young people who are facing a lot of stress. I dealt with one foundation where they're saying we're seeing a lot more young people, whatever there is, practicing self-harm, you know, that, and that worries me and a lot of other friends. UNICEF just came out, you know, about urban poverty. I used to volunteer. Recently, I did a little job for one company, and I saw the urban poverty. It was near Kota Damansara, and I said, how can people be poor like this? You know, and you're not talking about orang asal, which is also another issue, tau. You're talking about poor Malaysian Chinese. You're near Sungai Buloh, the curve area. How can this happen? But there are poor people who are struggling. So you think that, okay, there are a lot of great things about this country. But I think right now, I think you have to look at Malaysia in the long term. Whoever wins, please look at me. The poverty, the health crisis that we're going through, you know. You hear things of friends who work. I have a lot of friends who work in government hospitals. You hear things, and not only are they overtaxed and overburdened, what happens to the patients? You know, we have some of the best healthcare in the world, but now, you know, certain things are being taken away, tak ada budget, and you get quite scared. There are good things. There are good Malaysians. They look beyond this, you know. Thing is, what path are we going to go for? You know, what kind of journey are we going to take? And it's no longer, again, about a government. It's about a nation. What is the blueprint that a united Malaysia can follow? Okay, let's just talk about Muslim women. I don't see, at least my generation or the generation below, as, you know, passive and all, kan? Gagang, you know. You also see a new generation of young Malaysians who are very, I think it's also social media, where their priorities are on the branding, you know, how they are liked, kan? And sometimes when you talk to young people, they regress into this mode when I think, you know, that's, why do you think this way? Why are you giving in when it is really against your values? Why are you appropriating a different culture? Oh, because if I'm not like that, I'm not a real woman. Stroke, not a real Muslimah. And I'm going, and I would say to them, well,
is it because you are meeting certain expectation of the people, like whether it is in a management or, you know, that's the way?
I think it's cultural, and I think it's also what they've been taught, either at home or at school. So you see that though, like, okay, when you look at my mother's generation, which I think is similar to your mom's generation, right? The women maybe that what you call, okay, maybe less exposed or educated as what we, you know. But I think what is right is right, what is wrong is wrong. Yeah, in that sense. But you see younger people now facing a lot of social problems, and then you just wonder, why do you do the things that you do? There is a paradigm, there's a framework here for you to work. Why do you do this? If I do this, I have to look good. I have to be accepted. I think peer pressure is even more strong now for the younger generation. And I feel that it really makes you get a good bunch of young Malaysian women who are on the ball. But there's a bigger group, right, who are going through a lot of issues about peer pressure, about being liked, about what does it mean to be a good wife. Do I give up my jobs, you know? And it's quite sad and also frightening. Yeah. The research that we do, right, actually the first leg of our research actually deals with Malay Muslim youth. So when you have these conversations later on with a lot of young Malay women, you know, and this is just across the board, when they start confiding in you what the things that they go through, you say, you know, okay, you say this, but you don't have to do that, because the Quran, the Hadith has already. I always feel it's very cultural. You know, if I don't do this, my parents would me. I know many young Malay professional women, right, who are in trap marriages, and I say, why do you allow this? And these are girls who are working in finance, you know. If I do this, I would be seen as a bad Muslim wife. And I said, you know, this is abuse. The Sharia courts, and it's improved a lot. They've actually got all this. You will be protected. Can. And I say, I can't do this because my parents would do this. Which is very different. Like, I'm from Terengganu, and, you know, there's a bit of Kelantan side. The women there, it doesn't work, goodbye. You know, we will not put up. But I see a lot of young women now putting up with abuse and a lot of nonsense, because they say, if I'm a good person, I would not do this. And I said, well, if you get beaten up, end up in hospital, you won't be much good to people. And, you know, but I think also Malaysia is going through a process. We're still trying to weed, you know, what is right for us, what is not. At that dinner that I had with Sharpened last night, we talked about this, about language, about culture, about what it means. And your friend said, you know, I love my language. Why must I speak Arabic? Yes. And you think, yeah, we have a beautiful language. You know, why are we appropriating another need? You can still be a good person. I think we're just trying to find it. The only thing is that we need to find the solutions so that we don't lose our identity. What keeps me glowing? I think having a sense of curiosity, you know, about people. When you talk about people, it's not about that busybody thing. It's about what makes a person tick. Yeah. As I said, I'm a frustrated researcher. My books are boring. I like reading about, you know, culture and all. Again, it's about people's lives. You know, I think that keeps me glowing, and always a sense of adventure. Since Iman started 3 years ago, I've been doing operations, and I'm going, Ya Allah, I need to go out to the field. I miss going out to the field, you know. And then coming on the ETS thing, of course, the ex-journalist, I must interview everyone there. Hi. What do you do? I think the girl was quite irritated. But I think that's it. You have to be interested in people. You know, you have to have compassion. Of course, I'm getting older now, so I've slowed down quite a lot. I'll tell you what I've done differently. I would have kicked out my communications degree. I would have done anthropology or sociology, and with another minor, international relations. I never really had those plans to be a writer or anything. You know, I just thought, okay, just enjoy, get married. You know, do things that make you happy. I'm a bit bohemian in that sense. don't think, and my mother is like, oh, until now she's like, out of all my daughters, you're the one I don't think about this. But I think if that keeps me glowing is that it's just, okay, what's up next? Yeah.